today's topic is sell what they're buying. And what I want to explain what I mean by sell what they're buying. So if any of you have been in sales for any amount of time and you've ever had a salesperson talk to you, we all know the difference between a really good consultative salesperson who basically allows you to walk yourself right on into the sale to where you almost can't say no, right? Versus not a very well-trained or slick salesperson who clearly is trying to manipulate you or change your mind or present something to you that they want you to do or consume, right? Hey, Barry, how you doing, buddy? Listen, I'm going to put you in the best house we can possibly find. And I can tell exactly what you and your wife need, and we're going to find that for you, and we're going to find it quick, and you're going to love it, right? That is the opposite of what I was saying with the smooth salesperson who helps you walk yourself into a sale, right? That is, so when I say sell what they're buying, in the first instance, the salesperson who allows you to walk yourself into the sale essentially is selling you what you're buying. The second example I gave, it wants to sell you what they want to sell you, okay? So how does that relate to conversations that we have in real estate, right? Barry, if you are a buyer lead and you raise your hand in my database, you know, you pop up, you bubble up on a why priority, and I'm going to reach out to you and I start having a conversation with you. If I don't find out what you value in terms of a real estate agent or in terms of the process of buying or selling your house, or what's important to you or how you want it to go or what you want it to look like or what you want to avoid, then I'm at a distinct disadvantage to helping you walk yourself into the sale. That's what we're talking about sell what they're buying. And we need to figure out what that is. So, you know, there's a couple of questions that we can use to do that. But first, I want to make sure that are you tracking with me, Barry, or would you like to ask any questions on behalf of the audience?
Well, I don't necessarily, it's more of a statement that most people that are listening right now more than likely learned a pitch of some kind that worked one time, or they know an agent that used a pitch that worked. And when I say a pitch, I mean, hey, I've got a hot listing. You want to go see it? And that worked for somebody. And so now that's what you're using because you heard it works. And, you know, law of averages, you say the same thing to enough people, eventually someone's going to say yes. So literally, that could not be more perfect as the opposite of what Dale is telling us to do. Dale is attempting to show us that instead of just having something we say to everybody, it's what does that person want? Let's give them what they want. And so this is super, I would say, powerful, but also for those of you in the audience that are really nice, and you find yourself wanting to make the other person happy, the lead happy, and you know they don't want to talk to you, so you rush off the phone. You need to hear this, because you know Dale's gonna teach us how to figure out what the person really wants. So yeah, not a question, more of just a point of clarification.
Got it. And let me I'll talk about when I say sell what they're buying. Here's what my point is. Whenever they decide or whenever they're prepared to either talk to a real estate salesperson, meet with a real estate salesperson, or interact with a real estate salesperson, they are buying something. I don't mean houses. What I mean is that they're buying a certain quality, value, a feeling, or an outcome. Those are the things that they're actually buying. So if we think about it backwards, right, Barry, we've both done it in the past as salespeople, but I'm sure that you've heard it from salespeople where the salesperson may want to pitch, oh, we have a massive team, right? They want to pitch, we have a ton of experience in the market and we sell all the houses. Or they want to pitch, I'm available to you 24 hours a day. I literally sleep with my phone strapped to my head so that I can answer your needs, right? I'm selling that to you, right? But the question is, how do I know what you want to buy? How do I know whether you want to buy a big team experience or whether you want to buy a bespoke experience? How do I know whether you want to buy 24/7 availability, or if you want to buy a specialist who has a certain amount of time to dedicate toward you, but will do an exceptional job, right? Or how do I know which of these you want to buy, which would be that you want to buy somebody who has lots of billboards out on the street, or somebody who isn't too bloated and is going to spend the time and effort to literally go find buyers for me, right? How do I know which of those you're buying, Barry? The obvious answer.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say we don't know unless we find out, right? I mean,
unless we find out. So I'm sure that we've all kicked around these questions. I'm sure you guys have heard them, like discovery. Thank you, Shelley Miller. Discovery, yes. And we've all talked about some of these questions like, hey, what's important about the agent that you buy a home with? Or what's important about the agent that you list your home with? Or what's important to you about the buying process, Barry? What's important to you about the process of selling your home, Barry, right? These are the kind of discovery questions that we add on to help us understand what you're buying, what you're looking for in this business relationship. Even questions like, so Barry, have you worked with a real estate agent before? Yes, I have, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm going to ask, great, what was your experience? What would you have changed if you could, Barry? What did you really like about the process of working with that person? So these are all discovery questions that are going to help me understand what you're buying in terms of real estate services, in terms of the person that you work with or the experience that you have. So what we do, what we train on, and we haven't even worked with your team on this yet, is we will teach them how to figure out what the person is buying before we give a value statement. A value statement is, I'm Barry Jenkins. I have the biggest team. I sell all of Virginia, every one of the houses, right? That's what we do. We are the best ever in the Northeast. That is a value statement.
So every one of the houses.
Every one of the houses. There was one we missed last year, but that burned down. So, but otherwise we sold them all.
That's awesome.
So that's a value statement, right? But do you know whether I want to buy that kind of experience? Do you want to know whether I want to buy, that sort of, example of production, or if that's even what I'm looking for? You don't. So you want to figure these things out.
Oh,
yeah. So
right.
What we can do is we could bring some people up and we can role play these. And I'll just give you guys some examples of what people are buying to help you understand this. So for buyers, for example, they may be buying expertise or convenience, or somebody who's informative, or they might be looking for a great deal or a strong negotiator, or they might be wanting to buy, actually, let me go with this one first, a guarantee of finding a perfect home. They might want to buy responsiveness, communication, and hand-holding, right? They might want to buy being able to have control in the process. Or this is the one that's much more elusive. They might be looking to buy know, like, and trust. And so what we do is we do a role play, we do a practice in my company where I say, all right, Barry, you're going to have to unpack what I'm buying, and I'm going to proceed to have one of these categories of things that I'm looking to purchase, like expertise, convenience, and information, or I'm looking to buy a great deal and a strong negotiator. And so you have to unpack that. You have to get those from me, and then you have to craft a value statement that includes whatever those are, right? So if I'm looking for a strong deal or a good deal and a strong negotiator, now you have to craft your value statement to reflect how you're a strong negotiator or a negotiation experience that will get me a great deal, which in the past seller's market for the last 2 years, nobody's had to say anything like that. But that's coming back again, folks. So you're going to have to be able to do that stuff.
Right. So
we could bring some people up here and role play that, or we could ask a few more questions, or I can just demonstrate it.
I think it's going to be, I think we should start bringing people up. And while we're bringing people up, so if you are wanting to be a part of the role play, go ahead and put in the chat. I think that's right, Michelle. And we'll add you. Is that right?
Michelle will beam you up. Here's what you're role playing. We're going to be practicing soliciting from me, I'm going to be the lead, and you're going to solicit from me what I value or what I'm buying, right? What I'm buying in terms of real estate service or real estate experience. And then you're going to craft it back in a pitch to me. And I can demonstrate it for you guys first before you roll.
Well, before everybody says, no, I don't want to do that, we actually would rather have people. So as soon as he said that, the 20 people on this webinar that said, oh, I'm definitely not doing that. Okay, you're the one that we want. We want people that either feel like they're not good at it or are really confused by this discussion completely. All those things. It's not to say like we don't want anybody that's skilled, but this isn't a moment where we're trying to like show you off. It's giving you live practice to do a better job at your trade. And so while people are hopefully raising their hands to join, what I would also add to this statement is, are we just trying to sell? Are we actually trying to help? Because I think some of the kindest, most meek people I know, they're nervous, and so they just say the same thing over and over again. And what I would tell you is you've accidentally just become a salesperson. You're not even thinking about them. You're just so nervous that they're not going to like you, and you're so focused on yourself that you can't even think about discovering their needs. And this is how weird this is, because like there's some people that really don't care, and they've calloused themselves over, and they've learned how to insulate what the person thinks or doesn't think about them. And those people are the ones that tend to gravitate towards learning this skill. And one of the things that I'm very passionate about is I really think that we need more like ethical and good and kind and patient real estate agents to learn how to crush the phone. So do we have any, I know I see Chris is wanting to join. Do we have anybody else?
Chris is in. Yeah. So okay, there we go. Patricia Martin also. So what we'll do, guys, is we're going to demonstrate this for you. And please, if you're nervous and you didn't understand half of what I just said, like Barry said, you're the one that we want. I'm a lot of times much better at teaching this and doing it in an interactive way than trying to explain it conceptually to you. And Chris is shaking his head. Yes. Chris is a client of my coaching company, and he's enjoying our training. But would you agree to that, Chris, that it's much easier for us to do it with you than to try to explain the concepts?
Yes, absolutely. Repetition is the mother of skill. We must just do it, implement.
Excellent. So Chris, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chat you a list of qualities or outcomes. So we got Patricia Martin. Hey, Patricia, how are you? And Jeff Hatfield. Cool. So what I'm going to do is, Chris, I'm going to chat you this, and I'm going to role play with you. So I'm going to demonstrate for people how I'm going to elicit from you the 3 items that I just put in the chat for you. Okay. So if we look at it this way, I gave you 3 things that you're looking to buy in a real estate experience or from a real estate service, right? I'm going to elicit those from you. I don't know if I'm using the right word or not. I'm going to elicit those from you, and then I'm going to craft a value statement backwards to you that includes them. Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. So just so everybody understands, we're going to sell what they're buying. I could say, Chris, we're the most amazing real estate team in the whole area, and we sell all the houses, and we have all the agents, and you're going to love us, and therefore you should work with us. That may or may not cover what Chris wants, right? Or what he needs from his experience. Jeff Hatfield, do you have a video? I want to see your gorgeous face, sir. So there we go. Here's what we're going to do in the role play. We're just going to, I've already done my intro with Chris. He's the lead. I've already done the intro. I understand his who, where, when, why, what, and how much. Okay. And either I'm on the phone or I can even be in person with Chris. And we're at that point where I want Chris to work with me, right? It could even be a competitive situation. I don't know, but point is, we're at the part in the conversation where I want to demonstrate value to Chris, and I want to get Chris to work with me. So Chris, let me ask you this, man. I appreciate all the information you've given me about you and your home search. Tell me this, what's important to you about the agent that you use to buy a home?
Well, since this is my first one, I really want somebody to kind of hold my hand through the process, show me all the pitfalls, any potential, setbacks we could be seeing. And then, it drives me crazy when there's no communication. So I'd like to be kept up to date and, just responsive to, my questions. Okay,
great. Excellent. Now, Patricia, can you name for me the 3 things I have to sell Chris in order to get him to work with me? How would I have to position my real estate service or his experience in order to get him to work with me? Give me 3 keywords from what he said. Wait, you're muted. Sorry.
Okay. Communication, responsiveness, and it sounds like possibly some control.
Maybe. Hand holding is the one that I was looking for. Good job, Patricia. Look at that. She got it right, Chris. I literally chatted him: responsiveness, communication, and hand holding. You heard it, right, Patricia? Yay. Excellent. Now, do you want to know what that sounds like? Let me craft it for you. Okay. Wow, Chris, you know what? I really appreciate you sharing that with me. And in fact, most of the buyers that we work with, especially the newer ones, their first time, really value our ability to hold their hand through the process. They appreciate all of the communication and always understanding where they are in the process, right? And being able to have their fears taken care of or their questions answered when they need that to happen. Did that cover it, Patricia?
Yeah.
Was that a value statement that captured all 3 pieces that Chris wants?
Yeah, it sounded a lot like the paraphrasing you were talking to us about the other day.
Yes, exactly. So basically, everyone, we've crafted that value statement based on what this guy wants to buy. Now, do you understand what selling what they want to buy is? Good. Okay. So, Jeff, we still don't see you. Where's Jeff's face?
Sorry, I'm actually Jacob. I'm part of his team, but for some reason I took it off of, and for some reason it still shows up black.
That's okay. Jacob, do me a favor. Just change your name so that I don't call you the wrong name. All right, cool. So
how do I do that?
3 little dots in the top right corner.
There we go.
Rename. There you go.
Got it.
All right.
Got it.
So let's do this. Let's just stay with responsiveness, communication, and hand-holding, okay? I want to see if Jacob and Patricia and Chris can craft value statements the way that I just did. And here's what I want to tell you. I just made that up on the fly. I didn't read that from anywhere, right? I sent Chris responsiveness, communication, and hand-holding, and whatever he said came out of his mouth, right? But we got the 3 keywords, even to the point where Patricia could hear what the keywords were. And so I want to practice taking the keywords and selling it back to them. Now, notice, when I pitched Chris, I didn't say, oh, got it, Chris, you want responsiveness, communication, and handholding. Well, we're the biggest team. We sell all the houses. We're amazing. And we have fantastic agents and drive cool cars. That's not what he asked for, right? I didn't say that. I sold him what he asked for, not what he didn't ask for.
Dale,
Yeah.
do you watch The Office at all?
I do love The Office.
Well, Michael Scott does improv, and all his improv lead to the same thing where it's Michael Scarn kicking the door with a gun. It doesn't matter what the scene is, he goes to the same story. And that's what that reminded me of.
Wait, I need to make a clip of that, because Barry, when I listen to old school salespeople or undertrained salespeople who just tell you what they want to tell you or sell you what they want to sell you, that's the visual for me.
I know. Anyway, all right, I'll set up.
All right, so let's do this. Who wants to practice first? Selling back responsiveness, communication, and hand-holding.
I'll do it.
Jacob. All right, so let's do the role play. Again, Jacob, I want you to solicit from Chris what he's looking for, what's important to him about the agent he buys a home with, okay?
Okay.
Very simple question. And I actually forgot that Chris went ahead and gave all three. And then we have another, as we go into the role play, we can practice where Chris only gives you two, and then Chris only gives you one, and you have to get a few more out of him. Because here's what I'll say to everybody. I find that the best practices is to try to get at least two, if not three values from somebody that they're looking for. Okay?
Okay.
Chris, you can go ahead and give him three. Jacob, let's start the role play from where I did. You solicit from Chris what he's looking for in an agent when he purchases a home.
All right. Well, Chris, I see that you've been looking for a little while. Obviously, I'm sure you value a lot of important things in when you decide who you'd like to go with as your realtor. So tell me, what are you looking in your realtor to really have a smooth transaction?
Hold on, wait. Hold on a second. Let me jump in here. You just said that he wanted a smooth transaction, right?
Yes.
Can you make your ask a little bit cleaner where you don't influence his answer?
Sure. I mean, I'm trying to go back and rewind how you said it, but you said it kind of like, gosh, how did you say it? Like, just simply, what are you looking for in your agent?
Chris, what's most important to you in the agent or with the agent that you buy a home with? Or what's most important to you about the agent you buy your home with? But notice I didn't have any kind of value statement in there. So Jacob, you did a great job. I want to take you to the next level so that you can have a little better Jedi mind tricks. And smooth transaction is influencing, right? So if I want to suggest to Chris that I'm going to make a smooth transaction, which is what you did, you stick the word in there. If you want a pure answer from this prospect that you want to convert, remove your influence.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Good. All right. Do it again.
All right. All right, Chris. So tell me, what exactly are you looking for in your agent?
Yeah, I worked with another agent, it felt like years ago, and I felt like there was just, we got into, never heard from him again. And then I would ask questions and really not get a whole lot of answers. So I would like somebody with really stellar communication skills. And, since that was a buy side and this is my first selling, I would like somebody to kind of walk me through the process a bit.
Gotcha. Well, Chris, that's some fantastic information that you provided there. I understand that you are obviously wanting somebody who communicates with you, who will always be responsive and will always provide information when information is received. Sounds like you do need somebody as well who kind of walks you through the process and somebody who kind of informs you of all the things, especially with the market that we are in at the moment. I'm sure you'd like to stay up to date with everything that is happening. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's about right.
All right. So, I mean, was there anything else that you were looking for in an agent, which would really help with clarity and would really, be exactly what you're looking for?
Nope. I think I'm good.
Perfect. I mean, I know, Dale, you said two, but I was trying to shoot for the third.
Yes. Good job. Now, so what you've done is you've repeated back the things he said, but you didn't tell him how you would deliver those things.
Okay. So I'm supposed to do that. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Gotcha.
Now, so Jacob, you did something that happens frequently where you, just by repeating them back to him, you think that you've told him that you can do those things. So let's take you to the next level. And I'm going to give you kind of a format of how this works. Okay. You're going to format it once you get your 2 or 3 pieces. So he's looking for responsiveness, communication, and hand-holding, right? Okay. Once you get your 3 pieces, you're going to kind of follow this format, which is either I or we or my team with our experience or knowledge or market share or length of business will give you value statement, and value statement. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
You don't have to use the exact words, but it kind of sounds like this. Chris, all that's really important. I completely understand that. My company and I pride ourselves on our ability to hold the hand of brand new buyers just like yourself, get their questions and problems answered through diligent communication, and making sure that we're really responsive to you and your needs throughout the entire process. So you kind of hear the way I packaged that up, guys? And
Yeah.
I even specifically simplified it to that format.
Got it. So it's really just providing the value proposition and just kind of saying that this is kind of what your team does and how your team does it. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So if I solicit from Chris those 3 items, right, then I take those 3 items, I spin them back to Chris in a narrative that is neither too in the weeds about exactly how we do that, and it's not too general, right? It's like just through the middle, where it sounds plausible and snacky and nice enough that he wants it. And he's like, yes, 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 in his head, and not too specific that he gets stuck in the weeds, and not too vague that he's like, I don't know if you're really hitting the mark here. All right. So let's do it one more time. Ask Chris what's important to him about the agent he buys a home with. Chris, quickly give him a responsiveness, communication, and holding.
Well, hey, Chris, so, I mean, what are you looking for in your agent for buying a home?
I'd like somebody who has just really good communication skills, is able to answer my questions, when I ask them in a pretty quick time, and somebody that can kind of walk me through the process of it.
Got it. Well, Chris, that's some fantastic information you got there. Well, I mean, I'll say for myself, our team, we really pride ourselves on fantastic communication. We're always very much on top of the clients that we work with, and we always provide the best communication whenever need be. And we always provide as much resource and information as we can, so that you will always be informed and you will always be walked, like you said, handheld through the process as we go about it.
Good job, Jacob. Woo, you got it. Everybody, the crowd is clapping for you. Great job. Excellent. All right. No pressure, Patricia. We're going to go to you next. All right. Okay. We're here to practice, right? We're here to learn. Let me first solicit an answer from Jacob. Jacob, what did you think about that? Do you feel more comfortable and confident now that we walked you through the process?
Yes, that sounds a lot better. And I will be honest, especially what you said the first time, where kind of just repeating it back, I thought that I was kind of answering his question, with that. But I mean, it sounds a lot better that way. So I'll definitely be using that on my calls now for sure.
Excellent, because that is what is in the prospect's minds at all times, especially if I tell you what I want. They're back in their head. They're like, how are you will you be able to deliver it? How will you be able to deliver it? And do I believe you? That's what goes on here. And if you just repeat it back to them, it doesn't answer all the pieces of how will you, do I believe you will, and are you able to, right? Patricia. Right. All right. So Patricia, sorry, Chris, I'm making you work hard today.
That's all right.
Patricia, ask Chris what's important to him about the agent he buys a home with.
So Chris, what's really important to you about the agent you buy a home with?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Patricia. I don't actually get anybody asking me that very often. So, communication is key. That's number one for me. And, I just really like to be responded to in a timely manner. I mean, time is money. And somebody to kind of walk me through the process, hold my hand where I need, and show me any potential pitfalls.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that our team is interested in what you have to say. We're interested in your concerns and what you're looking for as an agent. We are communicative. We'll make sure that we keep you informed and in a timely manner, so that you can find the home that you're looking for that way. Also, oh gosh, I forgot the last thing.
Responsiveness and handholding.
Yeah. Also, we will be responsive to your needs. We'll be answering your questions promptly. We'll provide you some extra educational information. And if you have a need and you ask, we'll get back to you. If we don't have the answer, we'll find it for you.
Good job, Patricia. Now, do you have that pitch written down anywhere, or did you just create it?
No, I made notes as he was talking, and I've done that before. some of that training.
Good.
So
Excellent.
I made it up on the fly.
Good. And that's what I want everybody listening to this to take away from this, is that you can find out what you need to sell in the moment. And if you practice the ability to craft these things on the spot, it can be spontaneous, it can be bespoke, and it can sound like it's just perfect for them. If you guys heard when Barry and I first started the call, and I said there are really well-trained salespeople who can help you walk yourself right on into the sale, right? Versus salespeople who show up and try to sell you what they want to sell you. When you can solicit from somebody what they want to buy, and you can package it up in a narrative that makes sense, is just believable enough, but not too detailed, right? As to make the idea crash. You can help them walk themselves right into the sale and make them feel as though they're in the perfect spot and they're comfortable and this is what they want, right? So let's go on to, go ahead, Barry.
Well, and Dale, I was going to add to that, that, you know, you guys have probably heard the expression that people remember how you made them feel more than what you actually said. And so this exercise is really good because it's teaching you all to focus on what the person's felt needs are, what they feel like they want. And one of the ways that I always helped teach or tell the lead that, you know, basically selling to what they're buying is, I would just tell a short story, right? And I'm not trying to change what's being taught. I'm saying that the natural progression of a salesperson is to start to, instead of just saying why we're going to do these things, it's giving them the experience of, you know, showing them how they're a good communicator. So an example would be, the guy says, you know, good communication. I'm going to say, you know, I've been an agent for 20 years, and I realize that this is one of the largest purchases of your life, and it's important, and you're going to be, you know, it's going to be top of mind all the time. And so I understand that, and I'm going to show you by my responsiveness and my effort that I mean business when it comes to this stuff. And, you know, 7 years into my marriage, I can't say that I was a really good communicator, but I've also been married for, you know, 17 years. And I've learned, you know, listening to respond versus listening to understand. And so I like to think and pride myself as being a person that can really be empathetic to your needs. So I guess what I'm getting at here is you can do this and you can have some fun with it by showing who you really are in the response. So anyway, just wanted to add that to the conversation as well. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, let's practice another one. Chris, did you want to practice a value pitch?
Sure, I'll practice one.
All right, let's do it real quick then. Jake, why don't you ask Patricia what she values in a buyer, in the agent that she buys her home with. Patricia, you're just going to give them the same answers back, right? Responsiveness, communication, and hand-holding. For those of you who are listening, it may sound redundant and repetitive. However, we heard Jakob need to craft a statement 3 different times. Patricia got the benefit of hearing it being crafted. Chris hasn't crafted one yet, right? So there's a big difference between hearing what somebody does, thinking you can do it, and actually doing it yourself. Believe me. All right, so Chris, ask Patricia what's important to her about the agent she buys a house with.
Hey, Patricia, just out of curiosity, have you thought about what is important with you when you're choosing a real estate agent?
Yes, I have. And I'd like to frame it in the way of telling you about a bad experience that I had.
Hold on, Patricia, let me slow you down. Just for everybody listening, I appreciate that. But let's go real quick. Get out responsiveness, communication, and handholding, only because we're starting to run out of time, and I want to teach you guys how to deal with know, like, and trust when you're trying to sell it.
Okay. Yes, I'm really looking for somebody who's going to get back to me when I have a question, who's not going to keep me hanging. I'm looking for somebody who's going to be able to answer my questions and give me the information I'm looking for. And I really need somebody to help me through the process because I haven't done this many times before.
Go, Chris.
Well, I really appreciate you telling me that, Patricia. And, I will tell you, our company is very aware of the consumer's needs on this. We actually craft our value proposition based on our communication. A lot of people's number one complaint is lack of communication with agents. So I dedicate myself also to the responsiveness. I know that can be the difference between you getting 5 hours of sleep or a full 8 hours of sleep. So I'm definitely there for you in that. And we like to do a little buyer's consultation to walk you through the buying process to really give you that visual aid and make it really seamless in that experience.
Great job, Chris. And I'm going to give you some feedback. There's 3 things that I don't want to hear you say again. And that would be consumer. What would you say? Consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody ever wants to be called a consumer.
Okay.
Unless they're watching the news. Value proposition. Do not say value proposition. Okay. And buyer consultation.
Okay.
Get rid of those. Your value proposition should be more like, the results that we achieve for our clients, the benefits our clients receive by working with us, right? That would be value proposition, but value proposition is clinical and detached. So it needs to be warmer. And then buyer consult, no more, right? That's make it smoother. It's, we meet with you, we get your questions answered, we fully inform you so that you're prepared and armed with all the information that you need to make really great decisions. That's a buyer consultation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's warmer. It's a lot warmer.
Yes, exactly. But you did a great job. Now let me talk about know, like, and trust while we still have time left, everybody. Can you imagine a harder thing to sell to somebody than know, like, or trust? Like, how are you gonna talk to a stranger and convince them that they're going to like you and that they're going to trust you, right? And they're going to feel like they know you. It's kind of weird to try and tell somebody that. So Barry mentioned story. Patricia started to get into story as she was going to give her response to you in role play. Selling know, like, and trust really comes down to basically telling stories, right? That's really what the trick is. And so, you know what? If you said, when I say know, like, and trust, let's say that you said, hey, Patricia, what's important to you about the agent that you work with? And Patricia's like, well, I just really need to feel like it's somebody that I feel comfortable with and that, really has my interests, best interests at heart. And, I've worked with my cousin and wherever in the past, and it was really great. And we had a really great relationship, right? Or the agent I used in the past, I love her. We were fantastic. I just can't use her now because she's in a different market or whatever it may be. That's where you need to sell know, like, and trust. I need Patricia to believe that she can have the same kind of relationship with me and that she's going to feel comfortable. And that would probably sound something like, hey, got it, Patricia. Listen, I completely understand how important it is to have a great relationship with the agent that you work with. In fact, what's funny is most of our clients end up reporting back to us when we ask them how the experience was, that now they feel like they're our friends for life rather than business associates. And we really pride ourselves on that response. And so we place that above all else throughout the process of helping you get into your new home. So I'm now selling her that by using social proof, by talking about other people's experiences and putting it into all the warm and fuzzy language that Patricia wants to hear in order to know that she's buying know, like, and trust from us.
Did you stay away from clients, the word clients on that? Or did you just say the people we work with, right?
Yeah, so I stayed away from clients.
Clients too, you think?
You can use clients. It's an understood word. I was trying to make it as soft. And I was trying to make it like your favorite blankie as much as I could, right? And there aren't usually too many clients in your blankie.
True.
Well, and also when Dale was telling you what not to say, a lot of those phrases or statements were like industry topics like a buyer consultation isn't detailed enough for the person to understand what that is. Value proposition, if they're not in sales, they definitely don't know what that means. So it's not just making them feel warm and fuzzy, it's also speaking in a way that can be understood. Yeah, avoid the in-house lingo. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is people like Chris, or we may not realize what lingo is, and so
Right.
look at it this way: if you have to explain it to your 8-year-old, right? How would you explain it to your 8-year-old on a level that they can understand it? And you probably aren't going to say value proposition or buyer consultation, right?
All the good stuff I'm going to do for you.
All the good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's get together and talk about the good stuff I'll do for you and how happy you'll be. There you go, everybody. I just gave you the magic formula for a value statement. Just make it sound a little fancier. Excellent. All right. Any questions? Yeah, buts, what ifs? Okay. Excellent.
I think, well, I've been accidentally one step ahead on this. So I was going to bring up, if the person doesn't have clarity of what they want.
Sure. Yeah. So let's,
with top of funnel, middle of funnel, sometimes don't.
Yeah. So let's role play that, Barry. So I want you to be super top of funnel. You don't really have a perspective. Okay. And I want you to see what I'm going to do here. So first we're going to go with somebody who has been through a transaction before. Okay. But is super top of funnel. And so, I do my intro, I do some discovery with you. Your who, where, when, why, what, and how much is spotty because you're super top of funnel. Okay. And let's say that I want to get you to let me make a clarification here then for everybody. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I believe that we only need to use this strategy to figure out what they're buying when they are close to actually buying, if that makes sense. So if you're super top of funnel, you can't even tell me where you want to move. You're kind of spotty on the budget. You're not exactly sure what your time frame would be, but we both know that it's going to be out in the future somewhere. I don't necessarily have to get into, hey, Barry, what's important to you about the agent you buy a home with? But instead, I'm going to figure out where you're at right now and figure out how I can assert myself into the process of you figuring out whether or not you want to buy, or even what area you'd be interested in, or what kind of price range might work for you, or whether it's even a good time to buy now or not, right? So I'm not going to specifically, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to add to that the reason why I brought this up is I'm sure there were people on this session that were saying to themselves, man, if I could just get them to tell me what they want, that would be great, right? And so we want to go there. And so, what Dale is, I'm going to paraphrase what he just said, and that is wherever they are, help them get to the next spot in their journey. Like that's you can master that skill. Top of funnel and middle of funnel is yours. Google, Facebook, you will crush it if you learn this skill.
Yeah, absolutely. So up that funnel there, I can do one where you don't know what you want in an agent, but let's assume that you're closer to the bottom of the funnel where you're actively, you're actively online looking at stuff. You're willing to go and look at a home if something pops up. And I'm going to ask you what's important to you about the agent that you buy a home with, but you're one of those really kind of closed people who can't really articulate much. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We all know those kind of people, right?
That's normal. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there are some people who'll be like, oh, I want this and I want this. And my realtor needs to have this favorite color, right? And then there's other people who are just like, I don't know, I'm just going to buy a house. Right? Yeah. All right. So Barry, hey man, all that sounds great. I'm keeping an eye out for the perfect property for you too. So let me ask you this. What's important to you about the agent that you actually purchase a home with?
I don't really know. Just do your job, I guess. I'm not sure.
Well, listen, thanks, Barry. I will definitely try to do my job. Well, let me ask you this more importantly. I just want to make sure that we're a right fit potentially, and that we can serve you to serve your needs in the best way that we can. Have you worked with a real estate agent in the past?
Yeah, I purchased the home I live in. I own, and I had to work with an agent during
Okay.
that period of time.
Now I want to break role play and tell everybody what I'm doing here. If Barry doesn't know what's important to him about the agent that he works with, Barry may or may not value real estate agents and the experience of working with them, everybody. Got it? Which means Barry may not be loyal to you. May or may not. Doesn't mean that he won't. But if Barry can't articulate a value, there's a chance, good chance, I'd say 50-50, that Barry doesn't really understand our value and doesn't value us. So now I'm going backwards to see if Barry has had an experience of working with an agent, and I'm looking to see a couple of things. Did he have a bad experience that can help inform this now to make it a better one for me to be able to do a better job? Does he have a preference for what he wants, and can he articulate it? Or am I going to discover even more evidence that Barry doesn't value us and doesn't see a need for us, in which case we may have a loyalty issue? You guys all understand that? Okay, let's go back to the question. Barry, have you worked with a real estate agent before?
Yeah, the home I live in, I purchased a few years ago.
Okay, great. And how did you like that experience of working with that agent, or were there things that you would change?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I found the house on my own, and you know, they opened the door, but other than that, I didn't have to deal with them too much.
All right, everybody. Isn't this perfect? Now we understand what we need to do. Now what we need to do is we need to establish some sort of value to this person that will get them more, better, cheaper, faster, or easier by working with us, right? So might sound something like, wow, Barry, listen, I'm glad that you found the right home for yourself and that you've enjoyed it up to this point, but I'm really shocked that you had an experience where your agent didn't really add much to the transaction. I'm sorry for you for that. Because most of our clients report back that they really enjoyed the process of going through this with us, with all the support and help and resources and negotiation strategies that we have, that ultimately ended up saving them money, making the process easier, and really avoiding a lot of pitfalls that could otherwise happen, which I'm glad to hear you didn't run into any. But unfortunately, it sounds like your agent either didn't need to help you or wasn't able to help you if they popped up. So I'm really happy that we're going to be working together so that I can make this an even better experience for you. And you're going to want to tell everybody about it. Good?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So again, selling what the guy's buying. In this case, Barry wasn't buying anything. Barry didn't see anything he should buy. He didn't have a need. He had an experience of not needing anything from us, of not valuing our services, right? And so we need to demonstrate that for him. So that was just a verbal demonstration for him. And then in reality, you remember, I need to be demonstrating additional value for this person so that he doesn't revert back into the, I don't need you, I can do this myself. You basically just open the door.
Yeah, and what Dale did a really good job of is repeating back, even when in the beginning of this, I gave him a little bit of a, I forgot exactly what it was, but I said,
do your job.
Kind of do your job. Like that could have been perceived as what I'm looking for. But he kept digging, something that I always say, I haven't been formally trained as a salesperson. And so like the way that I would respond to someone that said, oh, I don't know, they helped me buy, I would have said, okay, so that sounds horrible. Did they not help you? Like, but, and I would get them to like open up a little bit to find out, because I'm trying to figure out where their head's at. And so, just sharing and collaborating a little bit on this call with everybody that, what Dale in principle is teaching us how to do is honestly, it's the difference between you converting, 0.5 out of 10 versus, 2 or 3 out of 10 to conversations and appointments. It's a big difference in your quality of conversations.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Barry. I appreciate that. And that's what we love doing, is helping you guys be able to convert more. All right. So we talked about sell what they're buying. I think we're definitely over time, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that for my listeners who were observing and not actually role playing, I'm sure that everybody who role played would tell you that it's a vastly different experience to step up to the plate and do it, right? And I appreciate Patricia and Jakob and Chris being brave enough to come and do that. And I encourage the rest of you to come and work with us too.
Patricia's been licensed for like 10 minutes. Seriously.
Patricia, you're really good.
She's been like 3 weeks or something. So she's doing really well.
Excellent. All right, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, guys.